Good night, bike. Cozy. Why, you little... Ooh. Well then, let that be a lesson to you. You'll maybe think twice about doing that next time. Thank you. Okay, I know what you're thinking, and yes, that is me. And yes, I am adorable. And yes, apparently I always have had an affinity for orange-coloured bikes. Combine that with, as you can see, my love of novel ways of camping, and I guess that bike packing was always in my future. Probably clarify that no Stevens were hurt in the making of this video. The thing I've always enjoyed about cycling has been the kind of the freedom it gives you, and the type of cycling I've always enjoyed has been just going out and having fun, exploring around, not like being really competitive or trying to be really fast or do crazy distances. I just like going out and exploring. If you're out bikepacking, you can be on road, or you might have to be on trail or off-road a little bit to get there. So you do need to have a bike that can kind of handle those conditions. And this is my bike here. This is, it's sort of a gravel bike, so it's designed that it can go on roads or off-road. And I've made a few modifications to it recently to make it even better for that. And I'm just gonna talk through a few of the major changes I've made to my bike, as well as some of the key kit I've got to let me go bikepacking. And probably the first change I've made to this bike is that I've added thicker tires to it. These are 43mm, and also it is being converted to tubeless. My friend Colin came around and helped me do that. And yeah, let me show you a little bit of that process, and Colin can explain what's so good about tubeless tires. Colin is a very highly qualified and experienced bike mechanic and wheel builder.
That'll do, yeah.
That'll do. Tube's out. Buy tube. No longer need this, so I can turn this into a slingshot or something.
Yeah, for shitting Louise on the head.
Shit Louise. What are the benefits of going tubeless? Because it sounds like it's complicated.
So for bikepacking, there are two main benefits. The first is that it allows you to run a lower pressure than you can with a tubed tire. Increases your comfort massively. So you can drop your pressure without the risk of pinch punctures.
So I'll have less num-bum.
Less num-bum and less, it takes a lot of vibration out of your wrists as well.
Because I always have sore wrists after like an hour or so on the bike.
So tubeless will help with that massively.
You promise?
Promise.
So you're piercing the valve hole?
My preference is to use a very, very fine
prison shank.
A little needle file. So loads of different techniques to do it.
That is incredibly smooth. Do you ever get tired?
Oh dear.
Do you work out of a business hub?
No. Stephen.
Well, you definitely shifted your business up a gear. Must be a lot of pressure. Sorry, what have you got there?
That's your tubeless valve. So obviously you can't use the valve from your tube. You need a tubeless specific, which has a little rubber bong basically fills the hole. The other benefit is that it takes care of little thorn punctures and things just on its own. So you know, things that would normally stop your tracks and you have to repair punctures your tube, it just seals automatically. So you don't really even notice that they happen.
So there's no inner tube, but there's now a sealant.
There's a sealant, yeah.
Colin's brought his scuba tank with him.
Take it up to close to 200 psi and it gives a shot of air to seat the tyre onto the bed.
So I get a puncture, that'll automatically block it, and you don't need to stop, and
no, exactly.
You just need to pump up the pressure again.
Yeah, you might lose a little bit of pressure. Quite often, because you're running going to be running around 30-35 psi.
Yeah.
You won't even notice the pressure loss because there's not a lot of force pushing that around, if that makes sense.
Okay, Colin, thank you for getting the bike set up with
You're
Tubeless.
welcome.
I could not have done it without you. I mean, quite literally.
The other thing you then need for bike packing, you're going to be carrying a lot of equipment. So how do you carry it? So probably one of the most basic types of bag you want to get for a bike is a bar bag that goes right on the front. I've actually got 2 bar bags. This one here is a Norfee bar bag. This is actually a Northern Irish based company that makes these bags. Nice clever design. You got bungees on the front, you got a pouch on the top that you can access easily even while you're cycling. There's a side pouch designed for your mobile phone, and there's another pouch over here on the side. This is completely waterproof, so if it rains, whatever I put in here is going to stay nice and dry. As well as this bar bag, I also have this larger Restrap bar bag, which is, I think it's about 10 litres, so it's a good bit bigger than that one, but takes a bit more bulk at the front, so this is probably more of my day-to-day bag. On the back here, I've opted for 2 panniers. This is kind of the traditional option for storage on a bike. You have to install a rack to do this. 2 13-litre panniers, so that gives me 26 litres of storage on the back. Now you can get saddle bags that can extend out the back of the saddle. They attach underneath the saddle and just stick out the back, and I have got one of those, but I'm going to try avoiding using it, and I might return it because while it is a very, very popular method of carrying kit for bike packing, they're difficult to get in and out of. And because I'm carrying a lot of camera gear and I want to document these trips, I wanted something that's sort of easier to get in and out of, and that's where panniers are useful. You just hop off the bike, click them open, and you can get straight into them. Downside is they make the bike wider, so if you're trying to get through like a really narrow gap, you might get stuck, but I don't expect to be on anything that crazy narrow like that. And something else that is really useful to have is a really good light that's going to last you, because while yes, you're going to be camping at night, you might end up cycling in late. So this is the light I'm using at the minute. This is the Olight Go Torch X. Has this massive 64 watt-hour battery on the back here that'll run low power for 89 hours and 1,000 lumens, which is loads for cycling, for 7.5 hours. So say I have to do, 1 hour in the dark every day, this will last me a week. If I have to do 2 hours in the dark every day, it'll last me for, 3.5 days. So it's absolutely perfect. One other thing I'll show you for now is this. This is a new tent I have got in a sale. This tent is the Terra Nova Laser Compact 1. This tent weighs about 1 kilo, and a big advantage of it is that it folds down really, really small. So the pack length is only about like 30 centimeters, so it'll drop really easy into the pannier. Or I could use bungees and attach it straight to the top rack here. I've got a pump in here, some tools, and a spare tube. The reason I'm carrying a spare tube, even though I'm now running tubeless tires, is if something goes really, really wrong and I have trouble getting the tubeless, inflated again, I can just stick the spare tube in, and I can run on that instead. I have a little backlight on here. This is an Olight backlight. It's quite good, really good battery life, charges off USB, stop me getting run over. And as it's always a good idea to have redundancies, but this is the C-Sense Beam Plus. It's expensive, but it's really, really well made. It's got a wide mode and a floodlight mode, and yeah, this is my backup light in case something happens to this. In order to make filmmaking and so on slightly simpler, I added this extender bar. This basically gives me another mounting point to attach accessories. So onto the top of that, I can put my light. I'm also going to use it as a place to attach my action cameras, my GoPro, my 360 camera, and it just keeps the handlebars all clear. Then the last thing I've got for the bike is this. This is a motion sensitive bike alarm. I'm very untrusting of people. So I've always worried in bike packing, I'm in the tent, someone's going to steal the bike. Put this on the bike, you activate it, and someone moves the bike, this thing will go off, and it is seriously loud. So it'll wake you up, it'll scare the wits out of them, and the only way to deactivate it is using your little car key style fob here. If you don't have this, you can't activate it. They're actually quite cheap. This only cost me about £13-15, and that was it. Obviously, this isn't absolutely everything I'll be bringing, but this is kind of like the new stuff I've got recently, specifically for bike packing. Haven't done bike packing much before. I think once or twice before. So if you've done it a lot, I would love to hear from people who are more experienced. Let me know what are your essential bike packing tips.
Can't wait to hear those. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support for all the channel members. And maybe someday I will catch you out in the middle of nowhere on a bike. Oh, and just in case anyone's wondering, I don't really bring an axe with me or plan and well, you never know.